Yeah, a lot of this drum stuff on this one is based on. I finally got all the drums, all the cymbals set up again. I carved out this little place to do that and started playing. And what was fun with me was I have a very different configuration than I've ever had in my life. And so I just really wanted to not limit myself as far as how it should be set up and where things should be. But I wanted to just kind of experiment, play, listen, and go, that's interesting. What if I did this? What if I did that? And so I have gotten these things. I've just been having a good time. And I was telling Josh, it's like a language. You hit something, you hear something, you go, wow, that does not sound familiar. These symbols are still very new to me. And I got them and I played them a little, and then they sat for a long time because I didn't have a place to do all this stuff. And so it's been a little bit frustrating, but a little bit um, kind of good for me because I got to ponder some things about, okay, when I do set these up, how do I want to do it? And then I thought, well, I don't know if I want to preload too much of that. I just want to set them up like I had them in the video. Now, since then, I've gotten another drum. I bought an 8-inch tom. So now I have an 8, a 12, and a 16, and I've never had that configuration before. I have a 22-inch tall bass drum. Never had that before. I have my old trusty 13-inch snare. So that was Mr. Familiar, but I tried to tune that a little bit different just for fun and see if it would stir some things. So yeah, due to my lack of finding some of my drum hardware, I ended up putting this 12-inch tom onto the top of a cymbal stand because that tom holder was just a little bit smaller than a normal tom holder. And I'm like, okay, whatever, let's see if this works. So yeah, I ended up putting the 8-inch tom kind of on the left side of the bass drum. On the right side, I've got my ride cymbal, which is where I normally have had it for a long, long time. And I kind of like that spot. So that's, I guess, in rigidity, that's probably the one that I haven't considered moving. And the hi-hat. I mean, the hi-hat kind of has to stay there because that's where the Lord put my left foot. So I'm kind of, till I can move that, I'll probably have to leave the hi-hat there. But it's interesting, just sliding things a couple inches here, a couple inches there. Move this over there, raise this up. I usually used to play with my snare drum really low. Well, I thought, well, let me try this. Let me move this up because the 22-inch bass drum is causing everything to move up. Even though the tom is 8 inches, it's still higher than I used to have with a 20-inch bass drum. It's so very interesting, and I'm just having a great time. And I had tuned stuff up in a way that I played them all, and I didn't like it. So I was like, okay. So I went on this deep dive of all these videos on tuning drums, and I tried this different method, and I really like this method, and I had never done it before. Um, but it was Greg Bisonetti is the guy. Is great. Bissonette, I guess. I always want to make him Italian, I guess, but Greg Bissonette's a great drummer. And he was talking about tuning drums, but he talked about talking to the guy from Drum Workshop and how they tune them, and they actually hit the side of the drum and hear it. A drum is a it's a resonant chamber, and so they're hitting the side of the drum and they're listening for that, and they're trying to tune the head kind of close to the resonant sound of that resonant chamber. And I thought, I have never heard of that before. This is interesting. So I tried it, and it produced a certain sound, right? And I liked it. And then you can kind of raise things and lower that a little bit if you need to. I didn't really feel the need to. I got this sound that I really liked. And that was a total experiment because I've never had toms so far apart before. They're all 4-inch increments, right? An 8 and a 12 and a 16. That's not super common. I'm sure I'm not the only guy that does it. I mean, there's a million drummers in the world. But for me, that was a first. Well, having that little higher 8-inch tom, I had liked that, and I'd heard that in different people playing that. And I thought, how do I get that sound that I want to come out of there? And what do I do with that? And I felt it was lending itself to jazz patterns. And I'm getting to know this ride cymbal a little bit more, and I'm doing more of a jazzy style of playing on it. And it's mixing well with the 8 and the 12. I tuned those up first in the snare drum, and I ran out of time, so I left the 16-inch tom. But I got that floor tom last night and did that same thing. but I changed the position of that. I raised it up a little bit, and I was reading an article about, making your drums comfortable. Don't make it to where you have to reach really far. It's going to be hard to play stuff. Now, it depends. If you're a rock and roll drummer that has this giant kit, all kinds of stuff to hit, you may be absolutely comfortable reaching that far. I'm not. I've never played that way. Having one more drum and having it spread out to my left a bit more is weird for me, but it's weird that I want to just keep working on because I really like it. So felt like I got the toms just tuned in and was like, oh man, this is fun. This is fun. And now I'm hitting them and now I'm doing things and I'm going, okay, I've never really been much of a rock and roll drummer. And that sounds stupid because a lot of people, it's just like, oh, rock and roll is not that big a deal. You just do this and do that. But I guess I don't think like a rock drummer. It's a language that's not, maybe it's not my first language. What would you say? And so I never had this big, like, heavy handed style. I told the guy when I got my cymbals, I said, he was talking about breaking cymbals all the time. And I said, I've never broken a cymbal in my life. I don't know if I've ever broken, I think I broke a head once, but that was because the stick that I had, what was the deal? It was cracked or something like that. And anyway, I didn't notice it. It ended up with a sharp edge on a stick that I should have probably thrown away. But anyway, I think I did tear a drum head once. And I don't know if I've broken sticks. I've chewed them up a bit, hitting them and you get they're worn from hitting so many times. But breaking one in half, man, I don't know. Maybe when I was young, real young, doing it, like early teens, maybe. But I'm just not that type of drummer. I just don't play like that. So yeah, the heavy rock thing just doesn't come natural to me. So setting these up in a way that I have, it just kind of makes a little more sense to my ears. But yeah, so then you think, well, what have I heard before that has this similar kind of a sound, and how would I do this, or where would I put this, and how do you? It's just fun, just fun. Find myself playing old stuff and going, okay, wait a minute. You spent all this time when they were stored on the practice pad, so do some of that. What was I doing on the practice pad? Well, I was doing basic rudiment stuff. Okay, let's see if we can apply that. And that is like, ooh, wow, okay. So if I do that, then I put it in combination here, and maybe if I take it to the drums, or I pull up to the cymbal, or cymbal and drum, and it's just like I'm just messing around and just having a great time listening and going, wow, okay, take note of that, take note of that. All right, like a little kid, you have 15 words now, and you're listening around you, and you're going, well, how can I make my own sentence out of these 15 words? And that's kind of where it's going. So a lot of fun. Hoping that one day, it does lead to playing with some other people. But for now, I want to be able to express myself on all of this new equipment in getting the most out of it that I can. And I'm learning that ride cymbal, for whatever reason, is the one I'm learning the most. And I'm getting these little nuanced things. I'm like, ooh, okay, if I take the this part of the stick on this part of the cymbal, it's going to make this sound. And it's like that in combination with these other things, it's just like, okay, yeah, this is coming together. That one's cool. The other cymbals, not so much yet. And I ended up flipping a couple of cymbals, taking this one to that side, that one back to that side. And I'm still kind of open to that and trying to figure out, okay, what makes sense. I've been moving cymbals up, down, back, forth, angle this, and just playing and feeling how it goes. It's like, okay, that one's a little bit too close. That one's a little bit too far. Shift, shift, shift. And it's like, man, oh man, I'm just having a good time. And I don't have anything. I don't have a gig coming up. I don't have anything. I can just sit there, and I usually play for a little bit each night this week. And I've been tired, and so just working, and so I haven't had a lot of energy. But man, oh man, just having a great time. So that is the drum stuff update on where things are.